This looks like a free queen, but you cannot take it, because otherwise the black king is not in check, but it doesn't have any legal moves, so this is a stalemate and a draw. So from this starting position, the only move that fights for a win is rook c2 e1, threatening to come to this square and forcing the queen to defend from g8. This is the only square that covered both of the checks. And the black queen is threatening to come to a2. The white rooks need to be fearless here. The only move that still fights for a win here is the brilliant rook e6, sacrificing the rook completely to cut out the communication of the queen with the a2 square. But of course this rook cannot be taken, because otherwise rook to h8 is going to be checkmate. Now black has to move, and it has to still defend both of the squares, so the queen has to go to f8 and create a new threat on a3. So actually the rook has to still defend by going to e7. Another brilliant sacrifice. White is begging the black queen to dare to take this rook, so the queen has to go back to g8 and again defend the checks. But you see, white can actually make some progress here and play rook to f7 and still cover this check while sacrificing the rook. The rook cannot be touched, and this time, very importantly, the queen cannot go to f8. So is this the end for black? Is black simply going to lose on the next move? Well, not exactly. Black has the brilliant counter shot, queen to g7, sacrificing the queen completely, still covering the squares, and the queen cannot be taken because this is a stalemate. But what's important to realize is that now this queen is not threatening a checkmate on a1, so the white rooks have one free move to do something else, and that's why white plays rook takes c7. The threat is of course to go to c8, but this rook can be taken two different ways, right? First of all, if the queen takes, now we can finally fly with the rook to h8, deliver this check. If the queen comes down, this is easy, this is simply checkmate. But what if the king takes? White has the very precise rook d1. This move does three things at the same time. It keeps an eye on the a1 square, preventing the checkmate from the black queen. It stops the black king from escaping out in the open. And finally, it threatens to go rook to d7 check, winning the black queen. The queen has to stay on this line. But now of course we can give a fork, and after the king moves, you need to be careful one last time. Don't be hasty and take this queen, because this would again end up being a stalemate around this black king. So we have to say, well, thank you for the queen, but I don't want it. I care much more about the king, and I am going to checkmate it with a pawn.